What is happening, Magnusites? Back with the Nerdrotic. Get over there and subscribe. Tell them Tyrone Magnus sent you. Are you ready? Ooh, boy. Let's get it.
Cultural critics like The Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic have dubbed the show lore-breaking for its recent revelations, but their commentary isn't productive. Rather, it encourages bigotry and hatred over a show that's just getting started. What?
Exactly. What the hell? When I saw that, I was like, oh, come on now. Don't do that. That's wrong. You know what I'm saying?
It encourages bigotry and hatred over a show that's just getting started.
What the fuck?
Power one, power two, the power of many. The power one, power two, the power of many. Nerdrotic.com.
Oh boy. I heard she's giving strikes.
Didn't want to make
so
this video.
I might
but
cut it out.
Considering the events of the last week, where we found out that the Acolyte isn't ruining Star Wars,
It's us.
we are.
Yeah.
That's the royal we, by the way. The 14% audience score should be embarrassing for the reviewers and apparently the Critical Drinker and yours truly, through our reviews of a poorly written streaming show, are fostering hatred and bigotry. Keeping all that in mind, I have decided to reconsider and apologize. For nothing. Let's talk about the Acolyte episode 4.
And it's like, you're going to accuse people of something like that all over a TV show? Come on now. Come on now.
Previously on the Acolyte.
You lost your entire family.
I'm going to check
Your
Rotten
mother,
Tomatoes
your
right now.
sister.
I carried them. I created them.
The power of one, power of two, the power of many.
Where is their father? They have no father.
You are not.
Ascension is about walking through fear. It is about sacrificing a part of yourself. The power of many instead of the power of one.
Fine. Who died?
The Acolyte episode 4 is thankfully a very short 27 minutes
Still
and
14
11 seconds, not counting the previously on in credits, which quite frankly isn't enough to review, but thanks to the Acolyte's lead actress Amanda Stenberg providing us with some bonus content, now there is. The Acolyte episode 4 day is filled with slow-moving establishing shots, multiple exposition scenes, characters slowly walking down hallways or slowly walking up to doors, characters talking to each other, not making much sense, and we're gonna skip all that. It opens up with an establishing shot of Planet Gobbledygook, where we find the Wookiee cooking and possibly investigating the lesbian space witches. Man, at least
I just thought of something. You said the Wookiee cooking. The Wookiee cookie. The Wookiee cookie. That's a multi-million-dollar idea. Shame I don't have the rights to the Wookiee. All right.
we get to see a Jedi Wookiee fight, right? Can't wait for that. This is followed by a scene with OSHA, who was coincidentally OSHA trained to put out fires in space, crushing on X-23. And who couldn't see this coming with a Disney Star Wars product? Two young girls crushing on each other after roughly 4 minutes of screen time together. Now, to be fair to the House of Mouse, if they break up next episode, it checks out. Jedi Master Nepo does some girl bossing and quickly assesses that May was trained by a Jedi. How? From this hologram. The nepotism is strong with this one, but I'm not really sure how she figured it out. Maybe it was these awesome Jedi moves. Then Jedi Master Nepo spends the rest of the scene trying to figure out what the hell
He's
Jedi Master
laughing.
Soul is saying.
I don't see him break that much.
And despite absolutely nothing happening in this episode, Leslie Headland wouldn't want to miss an opportunity to once again take George Lucas's lore to Harvey's couch. Hey, remember the guy who said this in The Phantom Menace?
Impossible.
The Sith have been extinct for a millennium.
This is Jedi Master Conehead, or Kiadi Mundi, who wasn't...
I just figured out what this beat reminds me of that you play. Faith Evans. I remember the way you used to love me. This has always reminded me of something. I finally figured it out. Today's a good day.
supposed to be born at this time until, of course, Disney Star Wars decided to retroactively destroy more lore. And honestly, that's the least of this scene's problems, because apparently there's a deleted scene out there where, after saying that the Sith have been extinct for a millennium, he follows that up with, except for that time we ran across a couple of lesbian space witches where two of them managed to conceive twin daughters without a father, who incidentally didn't look anything like their mother. I mean, where are the horns? But they were created by this thing called the Thread. So that really dark lord-looking dude carrying around a red lightsaber who trained May couldn't possibly be a Sith. It's not important. Please keep in mind this is the same Disney Star Wars that's been destroying George Lucas's lore for years and doing things like having Han Solo walk into a lightsaber, Luke Skywalker...
Yeah, you know what? I didn't hate when Leia did that, but I was surprised because, you know, Carrie Fisher had died. So I thought that was going to be kind of like their way of maybe, you know, taking her out of the series. But I was like, wait, they kept her alive? It didn't bother me that she had that, and I didn't think of Mary Poppins or nothing. I was just like, oh, okay, Leia. Go ahead with your bad self. Okay. Using the powers.
overdosing on the Force. Princess Leia died. Not really sure how. Somehow, Emperor Palpatine returned, and their one-hit series is a repurposed Boba Fett and a repurposed Yoda. And when they got around to doing a Boba Fett series, they made him Boba Fett.
And I tried to cut back on the beers so the stomach wouldn't be out too far.
And then there's Obi-Wan Kenobi, whose sole purpose was to watch Luke Skywalker until Disney Star Wars got a hold of him, and he decides to fuck off twice to fight Darth Vader twice and not mention it later, meet a toddler Princess Leia that Princess Leia fails to mention later, and the Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi had a real hard time getting through a gate he could clearly walk around.
Yeah.
Ahsoka being alive to usurp Luke Skywalker's story. In other words, it's on brand for modern Disney Lucasfilm. Anyway, Sol and Jedi Master Nepo devise a plan to once again use Osha as bait to draw out May. And this brings us to the most poignant scene in all of the Acolyte, the use of pronouns and...
That thing irritated me so much. I was getting so sick and tired of it. I'm so sick and tired of it. It was not cute to me. I didn't really care for the porgs. I love the Ewoks, though.
Live action Disney Star Wars.
Basically, were they with us?
It felt so shoehorned in for them to do that, didn't it? It was like, I figured at least they would have had some type of introduction. You know what I mean? I was like, I heard they were going to use pronouns, but that's how he did it?
And the rest of the 27-minute episode is spent with the clueless Jedi in a race to get to Kelnaka, the Wookiee Jedi, before Asian Ezra Miller and May. Then we get a heel turn that might give you whiplash. May is good now. You heard me right.
How'd that happen? So weird.
I don't need to keep a Jedi without a weapon. I don't need to keep this deal. What? Osha being alive changes everything. My loyalty to Osha, not your master. What I'm going to do is surrender myself to Kelnaka and then turn myself into the Jedi.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
I thought that was so weird. I didn't harp on it in my review because I just talk about it passingly. I'm just, yeah, she changed her mind, and but you know, it was sitting with me after. I was like, why would she just, like, nothing happened? Like, there was no showing something changing her mind. Anyway.
This shouldn't surprise anyone. Nobody thought that diverse female antagonist was actually going to be evil. Of course she's going to be oppressed somehow, and her actions will be justified, even being responsible for the death of 2 Jedi.
Down with the patriarchy.
And leave it to a Disney Star Wars Gen Z villain to give up on revenge because it's hard. This brings us to Kelnaka, the Jedi Wookiee.
I wish they didn't give her the dreadlocks. Sure, they did it to make her look more authentically black. But I thought she looked much better with the hair that she had when she was doing like the promotions. It was almost some type of maybe Padme or something type deal. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When is she wearing like a white suit or off-white? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I figured she should have had that, or at least one should have had the dreadlocks and the other had a different haircut. But they're twins, you know, twins are always wearing their hair the same.
Wookiee, arguably the most compelling thing about this series. It would have been awesome to see him fight, right? Well, he dies off screen.
Before you say they weren't raised together, I had a psychology teacher that was a twin, and he met his long-lost twin, literally. And he said they had the same haircut when they met. Their wives looked similar, and they both drove white cars, which was funny. Yeah, and they should have shown this. I mean, I get tired of repeating myself, but Star Wars fans go to see Star Wars. And when we go to see Star Wars, there's a short list of things we want to see. One of those things is lightsaber fights. You had one job. See what I'm saying? Like, one of those things is lightsaber fights. Okay? We like to see the starships and the fighters and the pew-pew, and we like that too. Okay? And we like something revolving around Jedis and Siths and possibly the Skywalkers. Not always, but a lot of times. Okay? You give us those three, you give us great stories revolving around lightsaber duels, space shootouts, and Jedi Sith, okay? We're good.
And what was the reason we didn't get to see a Jedi Wookiee fight? The budget.
Yeah,
Listen, guys,
that's what I
we only
heard.
had $180 million. What do you expect? And after sitting through 27 minutes and 11 seconds of an episode that felt like it was 2 hours long, you would think this Disney Star...
And if it was, I bet you give it to a Japanese studio, they would have got it done. And it would have looked as good or better. And they would have did it with some real, true martial artists that have been doing some crazy acrobats, making them lightsaber fights look astounding. That's what they should do. They should have, they should let a Japanese studio do a Jedi Sith movie, and it should be on a planet that is Asian culture. Can you imagine the lightsaber duels? Star
Wars intricately written story would lead to something after we had 2 girls crushing on each other, pronouns in space, and a Wookiee Jedi killed off screen. Nah, Smilo Ren shows up and pushes a bunch of Jedi. And the big mystery to the 5s and 10s of people who are actually interested in the show is, who is Smilo Ren? Is it Asian Ezra Miller? It could be, but I'm leaning towards something like this.
One of the mothers. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. 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 Exactly.
Credit to Disney Star Wars for not making an episode as bad as the previous. The good news with the Acolyte.
Yeah, at first I thought it was a man, but and they may have used a man in the suit like they did with Taskmaster. You know, but that when I saw the body language in that last episode, I was like, in the stature, I was like, I think that's a woman under the mask. So the great bait and switch as usual. So stupid when they did that with Taskmaster. So stupid. Clearly there was a man in that damn suit for the whole movie. Why do that? Since we are so strong and independent, why couldn't you get a badass female archer / martial artist or something to be in the suit?
We're halfway through the season. The bad news, we're only halfway through the season. And just when you think things couldn't get worse for Lucasfilm, they do. Series star Amanda Stenberg, who has the amazing ability to play two characters exactly the same way with the exact same haircut, decided to come out with a diss track against Star Wars fans. A diss track that Amanda feels so strongly about that she's copyright claiming absolutely everyone who posts it on X or YouTube.
Okay.
And what's likely an industry first, a TV show star
see that
has
again.
written and written for YouTube. And what strongly about that
she's claiming them. She's not giving strikes. Okay. Ineligible. Boom, boom. Discourse. Amanda will say, yeah. See, she's either going around doing this herself or she's got somebody doing it in her name for her.
she's copyright claiming absolutely everyone who posts it on X or YouTube. In what's likely an industry first, a TV show star has written and released a song and a music video complete with dance moves in response to...
No, I actually like the video. I already broke it down, and to me, they're saying it's to the Star Wars fans, but it's really not. It's like, you look at it, it's really a Juneteenth thing. I guess maybe a small part of it could be, misconstrued, or maybe it truly is to Star Wars fans, but and then I was thinking about that whole interview she did with Trevor. I didn't see the whole thing. I would like to see the whole thing so I could get that whole white people crying in context, because the video says that basically black people cried in the theaters over it, and then white people cried because they saw us as human beings. And I guess that was her explanation for why she said it. But if she just said it during an interview and that was it, then that's one of those things where it's like, well, welcome to social media. That's what's going to get you, it's unfortunately, whether you mean it as a joke or, tongue in cheek or whatever, if you're not totally clear, the bad part of it is, whether people like you or not on social media, whether you're a good person, whether you're a bad person, we all get things taken out of context. It happens all the time. That's the reason why so many people, before they speak about the LGBTQ community, they have to say, I'm fine with LGBTQ community. I love them. I do this, I do that, because people are always going to try and say, oh, well, why'd you say that? He's saying it because he hates them. Yeah, everybody. And it's not even like that. And that's to do with anything. Literally anything. You know what I'm saying? Anything that's a hot, sensitive button. There's a joke there. I'm going to leave that alone, ladies. It's a sensitive, hot button. Hey, that's better. Yeah. Sensitive, hot button. Okay? For people to cry about and whine about or get angry about or snap about. You have to say, yeah, but why? I'm not sure why they had a woman doing this. Well, and I love women. I have no problem with women. My mother's a woman. My wife's a woman. My daughter's a woman. I love women. Women are great. But I'm just asking this question because, see, they always got to preface it with something. Because then the psychos come out and try to make you look bad. And I think it's just people. There's plenty of stupid people on this planet that do that. But I think that also there's trolls that like to start and just get things going. They just like to try to hurt people by lying or twisting their words. So, yeah, she said that when she was younger. And I'm going to find that interview. But my whole thing is this. If she said that, and she kind of meant it tongue-in-cheek or whatever, or she really meant what she meant, she should have just come out and said, listen, I said that when I was young, I was trying to make a joke But you know, this is what I really meant in context. It's been taken out of context and this and that. I own it, and this is what I meant. So if that offended people, you thought, you know, okay, I apologize for that, but now you understand what I truly meant, and move on. There's really no need for a diss track, but yeah, anyway.
Racist backlash against the show.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
They songed with a chorus, and I quote, "We so bored, don't fuck with yo discourse." Yet, you made an entire song about it. Now, most of this song is in response to End Wokeness putting up an older interview with Trevor Noah where Amanda Stenberg says she wants to make white people cry. That had nothing to do with the Acolyte. Because taking things out of context to support a narrative doesn't help anyone. I want you to remember that.
That's right.
Amanda Stenberg, the adult pretender who's worth $3 million, speaks mostly of oppression in her song, but she also says this. Speaking of which, journalists, I'm looking at you. Did you forget it's your job to provide the truth? Spreading divisiveness, mining the metrics and date. Seem you gave up on all your ethics for money and views. And I can tell you that people are tired. Yes, they are. Because you could absolutely apply what you said there to Disney, the company you work for.
As I was saying when I was going through it, I was like, she's speaking a lot of truth here, especially on this part. I'm like, yeah. And I paused to say something too, just like he did. Like, yeah, speak the truth. The truth. Don't lie on people like Nerdrotic, like Critical Drinker, like Endymion, like Grums, like myself, like Geeks and Gamers, like Young Ripper. No, anybody out here that's got something to say and you just don't like their take on entertainment, you try to destroy their careers like that. You try to label them as bigots, istophobes, all this stuff. Just because they don't like the Star Wars you're trying to bring out, I mean, that's way too far. And when you need to lie to win an argument, you already lost.
And the kids don't trust anything they view. And you're right. But you don't have to worry about that with the Acolyte because no kids are watching it. Another lyric from the song by adult pretender worth $3 million, Amanda Stenberg. And now you listening, I'ma tell you something fascinating. They spinning woke, bastardizing it, and appropriating it. Last I recall, woke was something we created. Did you create it, Amanda? Speak truth to power. I don't hate to break this to you, Amanda.
What she's talking about here is that black people put a spin on being awake and called it woke. That's all. That's what she put. But we didn't create being awake, to tell you the truth. And if we did, I don't know. I mean, I think people were talking about being awake and seeing and being, you know, based and being, you know, seeing through the veil, you know, before being awake was, I think maybe called people truthers or something like that. Some people might consider them conspiracy theorists, but let me tell you something. Over the years, the stuff that I saw on conspiracy theorist channels have come true. A lot of stuff has come true. So, yeah.
Anyone else at Lucasfilm? Because apparently you need to hear this again. You are the power. You work for one of the biggest entertainment companies in the world who owns ABC, ESPN, Hulu. They bought Fox for $72 billion. ABC. Again, you are the power. You work for one of the biggest entertainment companies.
No, George!
ESPN, Hulu. They bought Fox for $72 billion. They're a little influential. They're also, and forgive me if you've heard this before, the same company that thanked a concentration camp in China for Mulan, covered up Chadwick Boseman's face on the Black Panther poster for China, shrunk Finn on the Force Awakens poster for China, a company well known.
It pisses me off that they would do that. That really does bother me as a black person. It's like, wait a minute. You've said that we're the problem. We're all type of istophobes. But for money, you've covered our faces and made us smaller in posters for China. Let me tell you something. If I was in Marvel and signed to a contract and you know the stink I would have made? F the fame. Excuse me. F the money. You know the stink I would have made? No way. Sorry. Nope.
known for providing the discourse and gaslighting what's left of the divided fandom for years. Now, as far as Disney Star Wars is concerned, Amandla, you're just the latest shield they can hide behind to cover for a bad TV show. And your diss track takes things wildly out of context and conflates them to support a narrative. One that calls Star Wars fans, your potential paying customers, racist, which unfortunately is on brand for modern Disney. Here's how the game plan works. Preemptively attack your fans by calling them racist before your crappy show comes out. The show comes out, everyone says it's crappy. Continue to call the fans racist. One of the stars makes a video calling the fans racist. Access Media articles are written in support of the actor calling the fans racist. And then the inevitable support from Disney or Star Wars or both calling the fans racist while supporting the actress. And please tell me when this has ever worked. The Acolyte is the Marvels of Star Wars. It was something that was predictably bad. We just didn't know how bad it would be. Recently, a Spaceballs sequel was announced, and it's well over a decade too late because Disney Star Wars is the parody. And as far as independent reviewers fostering hatred and bigotry, the only ones I see doing that are Disney.
Certainly, there have been times where, there's no way we're hiding away now.
Just kind of unspoken.
There are times when it's spoken, but
how would they say it?
There's no way we're hiding away now. It's spoken.
Nerdrotic.com.
If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, I thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
See you, Nerdrotic. Boy, I tell you, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, I mean, Disney is giving like YouTubers tons of material. Tons of material, man. With this show, you got this show, you have the Gina Carano lawsuit, you've got this expose going on with O'Keefe. And here's the crazy thing. We like making videos about things we love. Because when we were loving it, we would make videos about those movies and how they were performing. We would review them. We would do spoiler talk. We would do live streams talking about them. We would do videos talking about their numbers, other reviews, rumors of sequels. There were just a lot of other things that we would do. And it's like, people try to call us grifters, but we're not grifting. We're just talking about the genre of entertainment we love, except the genre is putting out stuff that we do not like. So, since we're truthful, we're going to tell you the truth and tell you if we like something. And we're going to continue to make our content to tell you whether we like or don't like something. That's it. It's as simple as that. That they were making stuff that everybody loved, they wouldn't be getting none of this. They know this. They're not stupid. They know how to make great entertainment. They do, but they're refusing. They're trying to make, entertainment for 1% of the population. And fortunately, that's not how it works if you want to have a successful business. Period. 10 million subscribers.